We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jonnu Smith, Miami Dolphins tight end, and he's been exactly what they've needed at that position for years now. Really, really good receiving threat, yak ability, has just really taken advantage of his opportunities. With a lot of attention going to players like Tyreek and Waddle on the field, Jonnu's been getting very, very good advantageous matchups, and he's been taking, a lot of good looks, getting after the catch, running hard. The Dolphins have really needed like a physical yak presence. They always had like good guys who are very explosive, but having this guy who's also, got good explosiveness for a tight end, but can, break tackles, run people over, great contact balance. Also just a bigger body you can throw to down the field, but also use in like these underneath situations, used as like, check down option off like flats, or even run like screens to them, that type of thing. Jonnu, very comfortable, and it's been a big evolution for the offense this year to, take more of those underneath routes, quick, pitch and catch type of things. And Jonnu has kind of been just involved all over the offense on all three levels. He's made plays this season. So it's been nice to see the evolution of the offense, and I think Jonnu has played kind of a big role in that, and exactly why the Dolphins have been able to do different things than they were last year, and he's been kind of killing it all season long. So go down, this Raiders game, kind of a game where he put up, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very, very impressive. They motion him across, becoming like a red zone threat. You have Tyreek and Waddle, and they become the natural rub. He understands, like, him and Tua on the same page, identifies where that DB is, sees that guy covering him man-to-man, is working around Waddle, Tyreek, and the guys covering him. So he snaps his head around quickly, knows that it's probably going to become a back shoulder, just based on, what the DB is doing. He gets there, boom, makes the catch. And this ball was tipped too, so he had to make like a nice concentration catch. Might seem easy, but this guy did tip this. That's why the ball comes out a little wobbly towards the end. Jonnu's still able to hang on to it, get that touchdown. Absolutely huge. Had 2 touchdowns. This one, I think he showed good awareness on both plays, because clearly he was kind of designed to open on the first play. This second play was just a breakdown coverage, but this is also just good awareness. I think he understands right away, Tua first is reading to this side of the field. But Jonnu snaps his head around right away. He said in his interview, this was not the play. He went off script, recognized no one was covering him. So he snaps his head around quickly. So this is just him understanding where he needs to be. And then once Tua comes to the other side of the field, Jonnu comes wide open, and he decides to just sit this down. Doesn't need to keep floating downfield for no reason, especially with Tua kind of working, not able to step into it. Just catch the ball, and then have the, speed and ability to score here after the play. Also, I feel like some guys in this area might have gotten stripped, but he feels that guy's coming for him, switches, the hand away, and then reaches in the end zone. Beautiful, beautiful work. This was probably my favorite Jonnu play of the season, though. The underneath stuff, he gets, isolated. He gets the linebacker, this guy who's like a hook defender. Once he sees Tua's kind of reading this guy, once this guy opens up his hips, Jonnu does a little bit of a hesitation, knows he has time with his route there, gives a foot fire. Once he catches this ball in stride, he is gone. Literally just boom, run 2 people over, put them on the ground, break 2 tackles at a time, burst, acceleration combined with the collision balance right there, and then almost get into the end zone. Really, really great stuff. Exactly what the Dolphins have needed is someone that can take these, 5-6 yard passes and turn that into a 30-yard gain. You think you'd get, the Dolphins didn't have the greatest yak, even though you have guys like Tyreek, Waddle, and Achane, who are great with the ball in their hands, but the breaking tackle element they've needed like this, Jonnu, been perfect, especially in that move F tight end role. He's not really a Y inline guy, going to do too much for you as a blocker, but he is truly a dynamic weapon in this offense, and he's taken advantage of it. It's not like he's just doing all the underneath stuff. He can run down the field. Here, they working basically a variation of smash. Jonnu takes the, inside release here, then breaks this back to the outside. He can be a threat for you down the field, make some tough catches. Dolphins kind of needed a bigger body for Tua to throw to in these situations as well, because most of the Dolphins receivers are on the smaller side. So Jonnu making that tough catch, get 2 feet in bounds, going up, attacking the ball, catching it with his hands, being reliable down the field, making a tough catch, that type of thing. Work him out of the backfield, almost like he's your fullback. Quick option, he gets a natural leverage advantage out to the flat, because this guy doesn't get out in the flat quick enough. You're kind of just reading him. If he gets out to the flat quick, you throw it to 83, Washington, he doesn't, boom. Jonnu catches it, and then he shows some anticipation after the catch. He probably could have kept going to the sideline here, but look at him catch the ball, change direction, and then get back upfield, and, you know, really, really impressive stuff, like his ability after the catch. He has such a good feel for the game, because it's more than just his athleticism, which he has great athleticism, great physicality, great contact balance, but there's also just like a natural feel you need to have with the ball in your hands. Like some people need to know how to like shift their momentum right at the catch point, which Jonnu does a very good job of it. It wasn't super necessary in this situation, but it's clear that he does this when it's needed, like knowing where people are, feels this guy's gonna, you know, over pursue and then get back upfield. That's just very, very good stuff. Could have this was on the first drive of the game. He ended up scoring a touchdown later, but even here, like he could have scored this if the first read for Tua wasn't open. Like if he came back to this side, Jonnu gets open man-to-man 1-on-1 versus the safety. Nice to see this. Having a guy that can potentially get open as a tight end in man-to-man situations. I wouldn't say it's his biggest strength, but he does it better than kind of the Dolphins tight ends of the past. Leans up into him, then uses, you know, that physicality, athleticism at the break to create that natural separation on, you know, that bang those glances over the middle, those types of things. So that's nice to see. And then just being a guy that I don't mind this too, like where if they're gonna keep him in line, especially on passing plays, like having him chip Crosby, then be a late check down option because he's very comfortable when the ball in his hands. I feel like he can pick up those types of gains, 8-9 yards all the time. You know, Dolphins run stick here, get him isolated on a linebacker, have him work in between the hook and flat defenders. Feels like him and Tua have been able to get on the same page. He's able to catch the ball, and he's also sometimes, you know, I feel like with the Dolphins and the tight ends in the past, they'd catch a pass like this from like it would be like Jonnu Smith or something, and he might fall forward, and he probably doesn't get the first down here. He probably gets like either near the first down line or falls like a yard short. But Johnny's able to, you know, get multiple yards past the first line because he's tough to bring down. He can also just fit in the progression of your play, be a threat over the middle of the field. You know, Tyreek, Waddle get a bunch of attention, then you're able to hit Jonnu behind it. Jonnu also shows a good feel for the game to slow this down, sit over the middle, and then make the catch. Use his body kind of to box out that DB as well, because, you know, potentially could have made a play there, but very, very good work. Love that fit in the offense. Also, the play action boots, get him going down in the flat. Just a different threat after the catch that the Dolphins tight ends just haven't had in many, many years. He can also just line up out wide as a receiver, work like these glance routes over the middle, good feel for finding space, get his head around. This one was with Huntley, catch the ball, hit a really big game versus the Colts. Those types of, and then the screen game down in the red zone. He's been great as a screen threat. He has a great feel how to work in space, work off of blocks, things like this. He's been very, very good. He breaks through arm tackles, picks up his feet, good nose for the end zone, which has been huge, I think, for the red zone offense. He's been huge because the Dolphins have been, especially since Tua has returned, much better in the red zone at finishing with touchdown drives. I think Jonnu's played a huge part in that. And then also they've been much better on third down, which Jonnu's helped convert a lot of those, just as like an easier option, friendly QB target type of player, which I feel like the Dolphins just have not really had. And he's just a guy that you can use pretty much in many different ways as a receiving threat. These quick hitters over the middle. He has a good feel for the space, snap the head around, catch the ball, flip the momentum, always falling forward for extra yards, just way more comfortable than what the Dolphins had in the past, and something they needed. I still think tight end could potentially be a need for them, but if they need more of like a wide tight end, a guy that can play in line. But Jonnu is just like a guy that can do so many things for you, and he's been a true dynamic weapon in the offense. And there's a reason he's putting up stats that are like almost similar to, you know, like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and he's up there with like Achane in the offense as one of your top weapons because of all the attention those guys can get. Jonnu can take advantage of it. I feel like he's just been underrated as a player, and he's finally gets to play with a good offensive mind and a good quarterback that can really utilize him, his skill set to his maximum value. So, I mean, happy for Jonnu Smith. He's been very exciting to watch. I had a feeling he would be a very good fit for the offense in that role. It feels like McDaniel like maybe started a little bit slow with figuring out how to use him, but has really, really figured it out as the season's gone on. And Jonnu's been at least somewhat in the game plan since like after the first couple weeks of the season. He's made big plays, getting involved in like, man, that play versus the Rams is so sick. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, comment and subscribe and see you time. Peace.